I want to start with the most shocking story I've heard in a while. But first, I do feel like I need to warn you what I'm about to tell you is extremely graphic. A teen in the Staten Island borough of New York City is being accused of murdering his mother's boyfriend, but not only of that, also of decapitating him. 19-year-old Damian Hurstel was found by his younger sister after she came home from school. That's when he reportedly told her, quote, "I did something bad. Go to your room." I have chills just reading that. Well, she didn't listen and discovered the body of her mom's 45-year-old boyfriend in 2 pieces in the bathtub. The knife was still in the severed head. Hurstel allegedly confessed and offered even more gory details, telling police he first argued with his mother Monday morning, and he took a walk to try to cool off on the advice of the victim, and then he found him home alone when he returned. Now, they then argued, and he beat the boyfriend to death with a meat tenderizer, and his plan was to cut up the body, pulverize it with a blender, and flush it down the toilet. And when his efforts to do that with a kitchen knife failed, he grabbed a handsaw. Now, he allegedly then used a hammer to try to remove the man's brains, but he was interrupted by his sister coming home from school. Now, neighbors told the Post that when mom returned home to this grisly scene, she was heard screaming, "Why did you kill him? I still loved him." The victim, Anthony Casalaspro, and Hurstel's mom had been together about 6 years, according to a friend. And the family has a history of domestic incident reports involving the victim beating the teen's mom. Hurstel also has a history of mental illness, including schizophrenia and self-harm. Now, neighbors said when her alleged murderer's son was led away by police covered in blood, his mother refused to look at him, but he, quote, looked relieved, no expression on his face. Now that literal horror show is over, let me take a hard pivot to a Post exclusive. The Department of Homeland Security's latest deportation figures suggest the first year of President Trump's second term will be a record breaker. DHS says it deported more than 493,000 illegal migrants since Inauguration Day, and that 1.6 million more have left voluntarily. That's a big change from the last year of President Biden's term, where just 271,000 people were removed. The huge increase is due, in part at least, to ICE agents operating in sanctuary cities like Los Angeles, Portland, and Chicago. And speaking of Chicago, a member of the Latin Kings gang was arrested just outside of the city after he allegedly used Snapchat to put a bounty on the head of Border Chief Gregory Bovino. A source took a screen grab of that conversation and sent it to the feds, who then nabbed the Mexican national who was living in the U.S. illegally. California Governor Gavin Newsom has vetoed a bill that would increase the minimum pay for the state's firefighters, and people are scratching their heads wondering why. Just 9 months ago, this exact group was critical in helping fight the costliest blazes in state history that were in and around Los Angeles. Now, the base pay for CAL FIRE, the state firefighting service, is roughly a little more than $50,000 a year. By comparison, local firefighters, like those employed by the city of Los Angeles, make at least $85,000. In a letter explaining his decision, one that went against nearly unanimous bipartisan support, Newsom said it would cost California too much and would circumvent the collective bargaining process of the CAL FIRE union. Now, the bill would have required base pay to be within 15% of an average of 20 local fire departments around the state, and it would have cost California somewhere between $373 and $609 million in the first year. California state agencies argued that when overtime is factored in, CAL FIRE workers usually earn more than their local counterparts.
For more on this story and everything else you could possibly want to know, check out the New York Post in print or online. And don't forget, like and subscribe to the New York POSTcast wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. You'll be glad you did.